All right, our first layer of resin is completely cured. And I do wait until it's completely cured to start with the next step, because I don't want my masking fluid to affect the finish of the resin in any way. At this point, what it might do, and I haven't tested it to see if what I think might happen, but I think it might, if the resin isn't completely cured, I think you might have a hard time getting the masking fluid off, peeling it off. So I always just wait until it is completely cured and I know that I'm not going to have any issues with it. So once again, I'm starting with the masking fluid with the fine tips so that I can get right to the edges. I'm going to let this completely dry, and once this is completely dry, I'm going to go in with my liquid latex. Now, this whole project, you don't need to do it with 3 layers of resin. If you wanted, you could do all your alcohol ink layers together, let one layer dry and then go and do the next layer. The only thing that would affect is by putting layers of resin in between each alcohol ink layer, what we're actually doing is sealing the alcohol ink in there, so you're not going to rehydrate any of that in your next layer. If you choose to do them all in one layer, you will rehydrate the alcohol underneath, which may be what you want, maybe what you don't want. I would suggest trying it and seeing which you like better. It's one of those things that not one fit is for everyone. I always, like I said in the last video, or when we were doing the alcohol inks before, I like the dimension that you get by adding the resin in between. And I also like that when I go to work on my next layer, none of the detail from this layer is going to go away. It'll still be in there and it will just add some more interest to the whole piece. So I'm going to let this completely dry. I will be back and we will add our liquid latex. Just back for a quick second to mention something. So you might see some bubbles here in the masking fluid. I take a little thumbtack and I just pop those. Super easy to do, but I just want to make sure that everything is completely blocked, masked off. So especially the bigger ones, the tiny bubbles I don't worry about, but there's some in here that happen to be bigger bubbles. So definitely make sure to pop them if they are bigger bubbles. All right, so it has been an hour. Most of the masket is completely dry. There's a little bit here and a little bit here that's not, but it's dry enough that we're ready to go to the next step. I'm going to do the same as before and take off some sections, since it did work last time, other than a little bit of seepage, but that's easy enough to fix. This way I'm just using a little bit less of the liquid latex. Oops. This tape really likes to tear. All right, so now some liquid latex. Before I put it down, just make sure I've got some good contact with the resin there. Pour some down and use the same brush as before. I did clean off the dried up liquid latex from here, so it just picks off, same as it picks off your art piece when you are ready for your next step. Once again, make sure that all the areas are covered. And it's super easy to spread out with this silicone brush. If you didn't have a silicone brush, you could say use like a popsicle sticker, something like that. I wouldn't use a brush that you like, because I'm not sure how easy it would be to pull the liquid latex out of an actual brush, and I personally wouldn't do it on mine. So if you have a cheap one from the dollar store or something that it doesn't matter if it gets ruined, that's fine, but I definitely wouldn't be using a brush that you like to move this stuff around. Easiest solution for me was the silicone brush. And I think you can even buy these at the dollar store. Mine came with some silicone resin tools that I bought as part of the kit, and I don't really use it with resin, but I do use it for this, which comes in quite handy. All right, so we've got everything completely covered. Need to wait for that to completely cure, and then we are ready to do our next layer of alcohol. Same as last, same as the masking fluid. I'm going to take a toothpick, not a toothpick, my thumbtack, see if I can figure out where I put it, and I'm going to pop some of those bigger bubbles. The smaller ones I don't worry about, but the bigger ones I want to pop them. We'll see you in the next step.